So in this video I took the Bel Air and went to the Harper Cruise, which is a pretty good cruise in St. Clair Shores. There was a car there, a 35 Chevrolet, that I would have totally bought it had I not just bought that 66 Galaxie convertible. A guy said he would sell it. The price, what he was asking for it, I thought was a fair price, and I would have definitely bought the car. It was just an amazing car. Now 35, he was talking about it, and I hope in this video, and I hope you can hear him, it was one owner car when he got it, been in the family since it was new, and the car was pretty much all original other than like tires and brakes and belts and hoses. I think he said that was 35 was the last year of the mechanical brakes, and when I say mechanical, there were steel rods, clevises, pivots. It was all mechanical, no hydraulic. 36 they went to hydraulic brakes on Chevrolet. I restored a 35 1.5 ton farm truck for Wolcott Mill Metro Park, and it had the mechanical brakes, and the transmissions in that era were completely non-synchronized, so you got to double clutch every gear up and down. And it was just really an amazing car. He wanted in the 15 to 20,000 range for that 35 Chevy, and after really looking it over, I think it was worth it. I would have given him 15 in a heartbeat had I not just bought a car. But I did take this to go buy the Galaxie because it was only about a half a mile from the cruise. So I had looked at it the night before. We made a purchase agreement. I told him I'd be back the next day with cash. So I got the title, the keys, the car is paid for, and I got to play musical cars. I'm going to change the oil in this today, grease up the chassis, and then maybe sometime this weekend run it up to my dad's for the season, and until I sell a Galaxie, which might be a year and a half or 2 years. I kind of use my dad's house to store stuff. I don't know. He doesn't seem to mind. There's not a big deal. So anyway, this is going back up there, and I'll still probably drive it a little bit more this year. When I go up there to do his yard work, I go up there quite a bit, so I'll still use the car. But this Galaxie, the garage it was in, little 2-car garage, like probably 20 by 20, had another car in it. Well, that car was out when I went to get the title and keys and pay for it, so I really got a good look at the car, and the car is just super solid, super straight. One little rust spot on the bottom of the driver's fender, I mean like the size of a quarter, and that is it. The car has 0 dents. The quarters inside of the trunk, the undercarriage, floor pans, all rock solid. So I think it'll be a nice car to restore. I'll do the convertible top myself. I may leave the interior alone, just clean it up, fix that seat. I'm going to paint it back to the original colors. I'm going to disassemble a body. And why I'm going to disassemble a body is you get a much nicer job. Like this car, I took the doors and hood and trunk lid. I took this car apart, all the trim came off, bumpers, everything, to paint it. You just get a better job. You just disassemble them, so that way you can paint your jams and they look nice. I mean, that would be pretty hard to paint with the doors on the car, especially a 4-door. 2-door isn't as bad. 4 doors are a lot more work, but you can see it just makes the things look so much nicer when you disassemble the paint. So I am going to disassemble the car to paint the body, and I am going to paint it back to the original color, which I think is really a beautiful color. And I'm going to clean and paint the undercarriage. I saw a 66 online, same car in a maroon, that looked beautiful. It was a beautiful car, but they didn't paint the undercarriage. It looked like an old junkyard wreck on the undercarriage when they showed the pictures of the undercarriage. Why would you put all the work into a body and detail the engine and not do the undercarriage? And not only had when they detailed the engine, they put all this cheap AutoZone chrome air cleaner and chrome valve covers, and you know, I mean, why put dime store stuff on a beautiful car? So I'm going to restore that car to factory original, and I'm going to put dual master cylinder braking system. I think 66 was the last year Ford used the single reservoir master cylinder, so I can get all the stuff from a 67 Ford and put the dual system on it. I think that was when they went to the duals, but it's going to have a dual master cylinder system on the 66 Ford. It's not a survivor like the Catalina, you know, all original. That Catalina, I didn't want to change anything on that car. That car was too much of an original survivor. And I get a lot of people asking me too if I ever hear from Denny. Yes. He takes that car to shows and wins first places all the time. That kind of makes me feel good. So you can see, you know, okay, so this car, and if you look at the past videos, I cleaned and painted the underside of the Catalina too, but you know, that looks so much better than if it was all surface rusted or just crummy looking. So you know, that's part of the car, so you gotta do it all. If you don't do it all, you don't get your top dollar. When I saw that car that was online, they're asking $25,000 for it. I wanted to give them 10 because of the undercarriage. So in my mind, that's an important piece of the car too, is the undercarriage. And I see that a lot. I see all these beautiful restored cars. Then you get down on your hands and knees and look at the underneath, and I always look at the underneath of cars, and then they look like some old, you know, field ride or something, you know, something you drive through a farm field, and that's just not right. You got to do the undercarriage too. So we'll do a bunch of videos on the Galaxie. I'm going to have it here Tuesday. That's soonest I can get it here. I'm going to get this ready, like I say, to go to my dad's, get it up to my dad's. The guy that I bought the Galaxie from is going up north for the holiday weekend, and Tuesday will be back. So Tuesday I'm going to get the car brought here, and we'll do a thorough go-around video of it. And I'm going to try and get the engine going so I can pressure wash the undercarriage and engine compartment, and you know, really get it spiffied up and ready to start working on. I don't like working on dirt, and I'll go through that Galaxie completely. It'll have all new brakes. I'll rebuild the suspension. It needs new springs because it has those twist things that you put in the coils. So it obviously needs new springs. If you're going to take the control arms out to put springs in, you might as well put bushings in, ball joints in. You know, the same with the rear, might as well put bushings in. So I'm just going to completely rebuild the suspension in it, rebuild the brakes. Ford was notorious for automatic transmission leaks or front pump, and when I say front pump, I don't mean the seal where the torque converter goes in. The actual cast iron assembly that bolts into the front of the transmission has a big O-ring around it, and they all leak. Every Ford manufactured the front pump leaks. It's just part of Ford. It's what they do. They're good transmissions, but they're guaranteed to leak. So I'll probably, if I get the car going, don't have to pull the engine or anything, I'll probably run it up to my brother's. Once I get it on the road, I'll throw it up on his hoist. He's got a hoist and a trans jack, and I'm sure he'll help me pull the transmission and reseal the front pump if it leaks. Maybe it's been resealed. Maybe I'll be lucky. Now, a little history on the car. The Galaxie, it's from Florida. The guy that I bought it from has had it for 2 years. He bought the car from the guy that bought it from the original family in Florida. The guy bought it, brought it up to Michigan, put it in his barn. He had a whole ton of cars, and he just never really used it. And he was going through his collection, selling cars he wasn't using, and this car hadn't been used since '76, and it was one of the last ones in his collection that he was selling. And Jamie, the guy I bought the car from, had purchased it from him with the intentions of restoring it, and I think it was just a little beyond what he wanted to do or could do, and he was actually looking for a Bronco instead, 65, 66 Bronco. So he sold the car. I got it, like I say, I think an excellent deal on it. I've looked at a lot of cars since I sold the Catalina, and a lot of them were in the same price range, and a lot of them needed floor pans and, you know, tons of work compared to this car. So this is a solid car, really reasonable price, and I think it'll make for a nice project here. And then when I'm done, I'll drive it and then perhaps sell it. So anyway, here's the Harper Cruise, and check out that 35 Chevy. It was just an amazing car. So thank you again for watching my videos. Here's the Cruise. Thank you. And one last thing, I did get the hubcaps for the car. So yeah, I do have a set of hubcaps. They're the correct 66 Ford wheel covers. This is the Harper Cruise 2019. Tom came with me. Yeah, and I don't know if the wind that Keith's 60 Dodge. I don't see Keith around, but we'll find him.
Is that original?
It looks original. Well, I don't know. That's pretty cool, isn't it? It sure looks original. It is a Dodge. It's a 1952 Dodge. Just talked to the owner. Now this is an original. '35 Chevrolet. That's amazing, isn't it?
It's original Survivor.
That would have a 206 inline 6 on it. Look where the crank cover is. That little cover here for the crank. It's all original. I gotta find the owner.
Family. I bought it from the lady. Her great uncle bought it new in 1935. Sold it to her dad in 1959 for $1. He passed away, she inherited it, and they just didn't have the means to restore it. She's got a couple brothers. They weren't really interested in it, so she decided to sell it. So it's been in the same family since brand new until I bought it back in June.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And the 61 plates?
That's the last time it was registered and driven.
Okay.
So was the seat scuffing that when you bought it? It was sitting there and not driven? They kept it driving all this time?
No, it was not drivable. No, the brakes were froze up, the tires were shredded, and they were gone, because a couple of them were the original tires.
Was it in a garage or a barn?
It had been in a carport, it had been in a barn, and then when she inherited it, it went to her garage.
Wow, thank God they never left it outside.
Yeah, totally.
You know, someone could have got lazy and said, I don't have room for it.
Well, they did leave it out in a carport. A squirrel got in through the top, and that's what chewed up some of the interior and under the seat and stuff.
Okay.
Let's see where my dad was.
Does this have the 206 in it still?
Got the 206, yeah, the original. Got the original 6-bang right in there.
Yeah, that's definitely original. I frame off restored a 1.5 ton 35 Chevy farm truck for Wolcott Metro
cool.
Park, so I'm familiar with these.
My first car was a 36 Chevy half-ton pickup. Yeah.
So is this non-synchronized? You got double clutch it through all three gears? Look at that. Is that the original hose? That is awesome.
But they said they did have it running about 10 years ago, so they changed the oil and stuff in it, but it wasn't drivable because all the brakes were locked up. Trunk. And this has got mechanical brakes, so all the linkages and clevis pins and everything were all rusted, so they started it but couldn't drive it. So I went ahead and rebuilt the fuel pump, checked a few things out, filed the points, and dump some gas in the carburetor, fire right up.
You can't kill those old Chevy 6s.
No. So and the exhaust was shot, so I had a lead pipe bent up.
Oh, yeah.
Put a muffler on it. Kept the old tailpipe, original tailpipe. I just kind of repaired it and kept it. Put tires and tubes on it. Took all the brake leakage apart. Took all the clevis pins out.
Yeah, because these was the last two mechanical brakes.
Yep. Yeah, because they went to hydraulic in 36.
Yeah.
Yep. So took all the clevis pins out, wire brushed, anti-seized everything, got all the brakes freed up and stuff, and so now it's drivable. All the gauges work, speedometer work, half gauge, everything works. The only thing I haven't got to was lights. So I still got to get the headlights, tail light working.
Super nice car. It's my favorite car here.
The whole car looked like this when I got it. The paint was so dirty and everything. I took soft scrub and cleaned up with soft scrub from your kitchen. So it cleaned it up but left all the patina.
Right.
I mean, that's not rust, that's primer.
Yeah.
So this car is really rust free.
The bumpers were off of it, radiator shell, grill was off, headlights were off. So they started taking apart to restore it. Yeah, and they decided it was too much work.
Oh my God, it's totally worth just leaving it as it is.
I know.
What an amazing car.
Yeah, whoever ends up buying it, I hope they don't hot rod it. Just leave it, maybe just preserve it, redo the seat because the padding and the cotton's gone.
Yeah, super nice. It would be a shame to hot rod this. I appreciate it. So I wonder if anyone can guess what year this is by looking at the dash, or what it is even. I'm sure some of you can figure it out, but it is a big old Chrysler Imperial with these headlight pods.
Yeah, he was talking to me.
Oh, check this out. Check that out. It says FEMCO. Hit the like button if you enjoyed my video. If you enjoy my channel, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.